Hello everyone, namaste, welcome to Flow and Restore Yoga. Today, and my name is Michelle, Chua. Today, make sure you have a couple of blocks, a strap, a bolster and a blanket, or anything that can substitute for any of those items. Let's start in Hero's Pose if that works for your body and you can support yourself with placing a block between your ankles as you set the knees in front of you to make it easier on the knees if you'd like, or two blocks stacked, make it even easier. As with any of our physical practice, listen to your body first and foremost, and if there's a variation of a posture that you need to explore differently, please do that. And that's why we have all these props, so you have more options. And of course, you always have the choice to opt out and let your body rest whenever it needs to. So take a moment to mentally arrive in your space, in your practice. We've been revisiting the 7 main chakras or energy centers. And today I'm highlighting the 5th main chakra called Vishuddha chakra, located at the area of the throat. So it's also called the throat energy center. The word Vishuddha in Sanskrit can be translated as to purify or very pure. And it is an energy of self-expression as well as listening. So the different directions in which communication flows. The themes of the throat chakra are truth, living your truth, speaking your truth, hearing others' truths, creativity, which has a lot to do how you uniquely express yourself and your truth, communication, and clarity, and authentic self-expression, as well as the ability to listen in order to understand. Have you ever heard this differentiation of listening to respond or listening to understand? So it's the latter, listening to understand and practicing compassion. The element associated with the throat chakra is sound, and in Earth's elements, it's ether, that void, empty space through which sound flows. The glands associated are the thyroid and the parathyroid located in the area of the neck region. The color is a bright blue, and the mantra or the seed sound is hum. Hum, which I'm going to invite you to open and close your practice with today. A little bit more about Vishuddha is that its health and openness is essential for our ability to find our voice and speak our truth without the fear of judgment or resentment. We feel confident in our ability to express our thoughts and feelings while cultivating the skill of listening. It's the ability to be truthful and kind with our words, abstaining from gossip or negative speech. And we are open to allow the voice of our soul to thread through our verbal expressions. Signs of imbalance of Vishuddha chakra energy is self-consciousness, fear, difficulty expressing your feelings, tendency toward gossip and judgment, harshness with your words, and physical issues that manifest are in the ear, nose, and throat, and respiratory system, thyroid issues, headaches. When Vishuddha is blocked, energy flow is not moving well, you may have trouble expressing your true desires and needs. So physically in our practice today, of course, we'll be opening up the whole body, and we'll specifically focus a bit on the region of the neck and the surrounding areas like the heart energy center, which affects how we speak from the heart. Let's begin by checking in. As you're sitting still, maybe closing the eyes, notice what you feel in your physical body right now. Observing without judging anything. Notice how your breath feels right now without controlling the way you're breathing. And whatever you can notice about the qualities of your breathing, sense your overall state of energy. Notice your mind. How are you feeling mentally and emotionally? And acknowledging that, let's start to breathe in a little deeper through the nose. And let out any sound, voicing, exhale. Again, a little deeper through the nose, filling up the area of the throat, all parts of the lungs, backside too. Any sound that feels releasing for you, let it go through the mouth. I invite you to voice the breath out several more times on your own, inviting deeper inhalations each new breath. Really getting to know what your voice sounds like in this moment as it changes with our moods, stress, energy. Does your sound feel resonant? How does it feel to make a sound as you exhale through the mouth? And then start to quiet down the breath as you continue to breathe deeply. You might join your palms in prayer at the heart as you acknowledge anything supporting you in your well-being. Offering gratitude to anyone or anything. I offer gratitude to those who've come before us, who have shared these practices and knowledge about the chakras and about yoga. Those within our own lineages who've come before us that allow us to be here, existing on this physical plane today, enjoying the seeds that they planted and sprouted. Now begin to clarify an intention you may have for today's practice. Is there any aspect in your life in which you would like to use your voice more clearly, courageously, truthfully, authentically, or creatively? Or is there any area in which you would like to improve communication, whether understanding someone better in a relationship or understanding yourself, or expressing? Now let's expand the circle of who our practice is for and think of those around us. Besides yourself, is there somebody you might like to dedicate today's practice to benefit their well-being? And as you feel the seed of your intention and visualize to whom you're offering this practice, let's join our voices in the seed sound, the bija mantra of Vishuddha chakra, and that is hum 3 times. Remember, the color is bright blue, sort of like the color of my shirt. You might visualize that color right at the center of your neck, sending the vibration of sound into that region and out of it. So 3 times, hum, let in a deep breath. Hum. 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 Before we start Ujjayi Pranayama, I'm going to invite you into one round of lion's breath, one last clearing of anything that we might need to just voice out, sort of release energetically or mentally. by creating any sound as we breathe out with the mouth and eyes wide, sticking out the tongue. So start by gathering in a full breath through the nose. Now, throughout today's practice, I'll invite you to continue a few more Simasana pranayamas, but anytime you feel like you need to just release a bit more, there's stuck energy, feel free, or to release excess heat, to take that on your own. Now I'm going to invite you into another whispering sound, a very smooth, gentle sound, and it's a practice called Ujjayi Pranayama, which we'll use in our physical postures. So closing your mouth, if you can, breathe through the nose, and softly constrict the back of your throat. So this is a great one also for stimulating the area of Vishuddha chakra as you're massaging the area of the throat as the breath slowly enters and slowly exits while creating a smooth ocean wave sound. Take your time with that so that you're creating a slow rhythm. Can you hear it in your own breath? See if you can keep that sound going as we begin our vinyasa flow. Come on down to hands and knees and spread your fingers flat at the top of your mat. With your shoulders stacked above your wrists, step your knees a couple inches behind the hips. And on your next inhalation, glide your chest forward, open your throat by tilting your chin up, peel the shoulders back. Exhale, contract your abdomen, close the throat by dropping the chin towards the chest as you round the back. Again, inhale, draw your heart forward, stretch the front of the neck as you gaze up in cow pose. Exhale, lift the belly in, drop the head to round in cat pose. Try maybe about 3 more cycles on your own of Betalasana. And then when you're ready, start to make your way into a standing forward fold at the top of your mat, separating your feet at least hips width apart and parallel to each other. Bend your knees generously. Let the spine, especially the head, completely fall, relax. Now bring the thumbs to the occipital bone at the bottom or base of your skull where it meets the neck. Interlace the fingers behind the head, and as you hug the elbows towards your skull, very gently shake your head no, nod your head yes, and let the thumbs gently pull downward, creating more space in the back of the neck as you continue that whispering sound in your breath. Maybe you sway the spine as well. Now let the arms fall. Keep hanging the head freely, and as you breathe in, start to roll up slowly like you're stacking one vertebra at a time. Rolling your shoulders back and down, join your hands in prayer at heart center, Padasana. Connect to the feeling tone of your intention you're cultivating in this practice. And let's offer gratitude to the sun in sun salutation, Si, Surya Namaskarsi. Breathing in, sweep your arms overhead, roll your shoulders back and gaze up. Breathing out, bow forward from your hips. Plant the fingertips on the ground. Inhale, step your left knee behind you to a kneeling lunge and tilt your chin up, open the throat. As you hold your breath, step into plank pose. Then exhale, lower your knees, then chest, then chin, stretching the throat here as you look forward. Inhale, slither forward, roll the shoulders behind you in a gentle cobra pose, hugging the elbows in. Exhale, tuck your toes and lift your hips back into downward facing dog. Inhale, step your left foot beside your left thumb. Lower your right knee and gaze up. Exhale, step your right foot forward and fold. Press to your feet. Inhale, rise all the way to the top, lifting your heart towards the sun. Exhale, join your palms in prayer down past the throat center to the heart. Side 2, inhale, sweep your arms overhead in Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hinge from the hips in Uttanasana. Place your fingertips on the ground. Inhale, this time step the right knee back. Kneeling lunge, gaze up. While holding your breath, step into plank. Ashtangasana, exhale, lower knees, chest, then chin. Inhale to cobra pose, Bhujangasana. Exhale to downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, step the right foot beside your right thumb, lower your left knee, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, step the left foot forward and fold. Rooting down, inhale, rise, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, trace your palms in prayer down to your heart center. Sun Salutation A, inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, fold Uttanasana. Press your hands on your legs, 2 blocks or the ground, and inhale, lengthen your spine forward into half forward fold. Carefully step to plank pose. And this time as you firm the belly, glide forward and exhale, lower halfway down, hugging the elbows towards your ribs in Chaturanga Dandasana. Then choose to breathe into Cobra or upward facing dog, drawing your shoulder heads back. Exhale into downward facing dog. If you need to move your body to help loosen it up, spend a few breaths here doing that, like pedaling the feet, shaking and nodding the head, swiveling the hips. Notice the quality you can hear in the breath. As your breath finds a calm, balanced rhythm, empty it before you walk or float your feet to the top, forward fold. Pressing with your hands, inhale, half forward fold, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold again, Uttanasana. Pressing with the feet, inhale, rise all the way up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands together in prayer, Padasana, once more. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen to Ardha Uttanasana. Now either step to plank again, or lower knees, chest, chin, or float to Chaturanga Dandasana. Take it at your own pace through your vinyasa. Back to downward dog. Now we're going to interrupt the salutation here. As you breathe in, raise the right leg behind you. As you exhale, bend the right knee and rotate the thigh externally. Turn it out at the hip. Keep the head hanging free as you inhale, tack the left hip back. Then exhale, bend the right knee towards your nose, engaging the abdomen to quietly step the foot beside your right thumb. Spin the back heel down with hips squared forward. Inhale, rise to warrior one. Now, as your 2 frontal hip bones are slightly lifting up, direct your tailbone down. Feel that your outer left heel is rooting into the earth as you straighten the back leg. Bending the front knee just over the ankle as you tack the right hip back. How's your breathing? Let's backstroke the arms and interlace the fingers behind your lower back. If you can, hug the heels of your palms together. You could also opt to hold a strap between the hands. Humble or devotional warrior. As you breathe in, roll the shoulders behind you, lift your throat. As you breathe out, begin to fold forward, allowing a few breaths to explore the range in which you can fold. Stretching the arms away from the lower back, completely relaxing your neck. Use the back foot to counterbalance you. Continue to draw the right hip back here so your hips are still squared, evenly facing forward. Last 2 breaths. Now place your hands on the inner side, the left side of your front foot. Scoot the right foot to the right a few more inches and lower the back knee for lizard lunge. Now here, there are many options. We're going to actually focus a bit on opening up the front muscle of the left thigh. So if it helps to be able to relax the shoulders, you can prop your hands in 2 blocks, 1 for each hand so they're equal in height. As you scoot the left knee back and bend the left knee, lean the torso forward. Maybe you feel a stretch in the front of the left thigh, and this is plenty. Otherwise, you could add on, whether stacking that left hand on 2 blocks to make it more accessible, or maybe the hand is on the ground. Backstroke the right arm and reach hold of your left foot. Start to bring it in as you lean the torso forward. Some of you, if your left hand is on the ground and this feels like you could go further, You could lower the left forearm. Now the right knee can bend facing forward right on top of the right ankle. Or to stretch the IT band region of the outer right thigh, you can flex your right foot while we're here and splay the right thigh open so you're leaning on the outer edge of the right foot without sickling the foot as you tack the right outer hip back. Let's tune into a few last deep breaths. Listen to the sound at the back of your throat. Releasing the back foot, place your hands to frame your right ankle. So scoot the right foot towards the center line of the mat just a little bit. So you're in a hips distance apart with the legs. And you may find it helpful to have your hands propped on blocks as we come into half split. Lift the ball of your right foot flexed. Begin to tack the right thigh bone deeper into the hip socket back towards straightening the right leg as you extend your heart forward and keep your throat open. Hinge from the hips. Just a few breaths here in Ardha Hanumanasana. Really important that we're not shrugging the shoulders and closing off the passageway of the breath, especially at your throat. Keep energy flowing through the area of Vishuddha Chakra. One more deep breath. Please step back into downward facing dog. Cat-cow or full-on vinyasa, your choice here. From downward facing dog, inhale, sweep your left leg behind you. As you exhale, bend the left knee and spin the thigh open at the hip, staying here as you relax the neck. Breathe in, tack the right hip back. Now as you exhale, contract your abdomen, bend the left knee high towards your nose, rounding into plank. Quietly step your left foot beside your left thumb and spin the right heel down. Keep your hips squared facing forward as you rise to Warrior One. Virabhadrasana 1. Press the outer right heel into the earth as you straighten the right leg. Bend your left knee right on top of the ankle and tack the left outer hip back. Slightly lifting the frontal hip bones, feel the support of your abdomen. Let's backstroke the arms and switch the interlacing of your thumb and index fingers on top. Remember, you could use a strap or maybe hug the heels of the palms together. Humble warrior. As you breathe in, drop your shoulders back. Take your time as you exhale, a few more breaths to fold forward, stretching the arms towards overhead as you completely relax your neck. Tune into the sound of your breathing. Lower your hands on the right side of your front foot and scoot your front foot to the left. Lower your right knee for lizard lunge. Notice if it's helpful to place your hands on blocks here. So let's focus a bit on opening the front of the right thigh. Scoot the right knee back. Bend the right knee and lean your torso forward. Maybe you stay here. Or you prop your right hand on one or two blocks so that you can reach, backstroking the left arm to catch hold of the right foot and bring it in. If your right hand can comfortably be on the ground as you do this, you could also explore lowering the right forearm. And now the left knee can bend facing forward on top of the ankle, or going into the IT band further, flex the left foot and splay the left thigh open to lean on the outer edge of your left foot. Either way, draw the left outer hip back. Let's tune into a few more deep breaths. Listen in. Now, releasing the back foot, walk your left foot towards the midline of your mat so your legs or hips width apart again, and frame your left ankle with hands on blocks or the floor. For half split, lift the ball of your left foot flexed. Begin to straighten the left leg by plugging the thigh bone back into the hip socket. While you extend your chest forward, keep your throat open and fold. Breath by breath from the hips. Ardha Hanumanasana. Please step back, take your last vinyasa if you'd like one, or some cat-cows back to downward dog. Downward dog, when you arrive, pause and listen to 2 deep breaths. When you've emptied the second, walk or float to the front of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, Urdhva Hastasana. Backstroke the arms, parallel the feet hips width apart. Hands on the lower back, fingertips pointing down. Lengthen your tailbone towards your inner heels, lift the back ribs. Peel your shoulder bones behind you, hug the elbows close together. Visualize the space right under the shoulder blades, contracting to tilt your chest and gaze up as you gently open your throat for 2 more breaths. Lifting your spine upright, notice how you feel. Now let's take that same position to the ground, a little lower into camel pose, 2 rounds of Ustrasana. Come on down to your knees, grab a block for the first round, and let's use it for additional lower back support by hugging the skinniest or medium width in between your knees and thighs so that your knees can be about your hips distance apart. Tuck your toes behind you and backstroke the arms. Place your hands on your lower back, fingertips pointing down. Draw your tailbone actively downward towards the space between your knees while lifting your back ribs. Actively lengthen your lower back. As you breathe in, lift your chest and broaden it by hugging the elbows closer together as you draw the shoulders back and down. Right under the shoulder blades, create the arch that tilts your chest and gaze up, breath by breath, exploring your range. If reachable without straining, lower the hand to hold a heel right behind it and switch heels, switch hands. Or hold both heels. Stay for a total of about 5 full breaths before you use your hands as support on your lower back to slowly rise and lower to sit. You might lower to sit in supported hero's pose using that block between the ankles like at the start. As you sit, pause for a few breaths. Tune in to anything you notice inward. Listening to your breathing, take round 2 of camel pose on your own, with or without the lower back support of a block, toes tucked or untucked to go further. 5 to 10 deep breaths. Let's meet sitting once again. I'm going to invite you into one last active back bend, lying on your back for bridge pose. So come on down, bend your knees, step your feet on the ground. You could choose to use a block between your thighs again for the same purpose and in the same way, or not. With your arms stand by your sides, have your feet where you could almost touch your heels with your fingertips, but not quite. separating your feet about hips distance apart, parallel to each other. Press down with the backs of your shoulders, tilt your chin back to open the throat. Press down with the four corners of each foot. And when you're ready, with a slow inhalation, tilt your tailbone up and lift your pelvis to the highest height you can hold for 5 to 10 breaths. Keeping your thighs parallel to each other, spin your inner thighs slightly towards the ground as you actively stretch the tailbone towards the space between the knees. Walk the upper arms closer together under your back ribs. Keeping the arms straight, if your hands touch, you might interlace your fingers, pressing your outer upper arms into the earth. When you're ready to come down, use a slow exhalation. Begin with the upper back and gently lower, as if you could, one vertebra at a time. When you've lowered the pelvis, keep the knees bent and drop them apart into Supta Baddha Konasana, bringing the soles of your feet together to touch like hands in prayer. If you find that your knees are uncomfortably lifting high away from the ground, take your 2 blocks and place them underneath your outer thighs or your outer knees, wherever it's most comfortable to be able to relax your thighs open. And you might rest a hand on your heart center at the middle of your chest and another hand just below the belly button at your sacral center, as we focus on slowing down the exhalations by sighing long through the mouth, creating any sound that may help you to feel more relaxation. Even a hum, like the Bija mantra, if you would like. So I'm going to invite you to breathe in for 5 counts, filling up your belly. Breathe out for 7 counts, creating your sound. Maybe it's hum or your own. Let's try 3 cycles together and 3 cycles on your own. Empty this breath to prepare. Inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 5. Exhale 7. Keep going for 3 more cycles at least. Hum. Hum. You could opt to continue quiet exhales that are longer than inhales. If you need to release excess heat, you might continue breathing out through the mouth or intersperse it with lion's breath like we did at the start. Let's bring the hands to the outer thighs and very slowly draw your bent knees towards each other, preparing for a supine spinal twist. Either keep the legs side by side, or to deepen the twist, if you need to, wrap your right leg over the left leg, sort of like eagle pose. Then slide your pelvis about 3 to 5 inches towards the right edge of your mat. Open your right arm wide on the floor And make sure the right shoulder stays on the ground during the twist. You might stretch the neck by gazing past the right shoulder. Now lift your feet and slowly begin to drop your knees to your left side. Maybe catching the legs with a pillow or blocks if you need to. And as you enter the depth of your twist, if you need to feel more release in the lower back, you might place your left palm on your right outer hip. And as you exhale, slowly press the right outer hip to tilt forward towards the front edge of your mat. We're here for several more deep breaths. One more exhale. And slowly come back to center, uncrossing the legs. And then switch the cross of the legs if they were crossed. Slide your pelvis closer to the left edge of your mat. Open the left arm wide. Keep the left shoulder on the floor, maybe gazing past it. Lift your feet and slowly drop your knees to the right, maybe catching the legs with props if needed. If you need to go deeper into the twist, place the right palm on your left outer hip. And as you exhale, press the hip away so it tilts towards your feet. One more long exhalation. And gently roll onto your back again, uncross the legs. Give your legs any movement you need. You might rock, you might circle the thighs in different directions, or maybe you pause a few breaths in happy baby pose. Gently begin to make your way sitting upright with your legs straight in front of you. Oh, sorry, Maggie. And let's prepare for seated forward fold in Paschimottanasana. Now, if you want to have a little more support relaxing the shoulders, you can place a strap around the balls of your feet and use the strap as an extension of your arms like this. If you can reach hold of the big toes without rounding the back, you can take that option instead. So separate your feet hips width apart and flex your feet, curling the toes back towards the shins while pressing the insteps of your feet forward. This creates a slight internal rotation of the thighs to help you hug your outer hips to support the lower spine. Root down your sitting bones, and if you're not holding your strap, start by raising your arms. Encourage lengthening up and down the spine as you relax the shoulders down, and keep a natural space open at your throat. Breathing in here, seal in the front ribs, and as you breathe out, keep stretching the spine and hinge from your hips, taking this breath by breath as you explore the range of your forward fold. pressing down to your sitting bones. As you breathe in, lead with your chest and slowly rise. I'm going to invite you into two options, either supported shoulder stand, which is a helpful option if you've got any neck or shoulder issues, or just want a more supported posture in which you put a block under your sacrum once you're lying down. You lift the hips. And then from there, resting on the block, on the flat part of the lower back, you straighten the legs up and you're in your version of shoulder stand. Otherwise, classical shoulder stand, in which bring the arms really close to your sides, tilt the chin back, and try to keep the head still, keep the throat open. And then you start to bend the knees towards you so that you can bring the hands underneath the lower back and scoot the elbows in even closer, pressing the ground away with the elbows to lift the pelvis upside down, to stack right above the shoulders, and stretch the legs up and together. Salamba Sharvangasana. This posture, as well as plow pose, fish pose, are known to help stimulate flow in Vishuddha Chakra, affecting the thyroid glands. There are different variations of this. You could, if your hips are very warm and you have no knee issues, add lotus pose while in shoulder stand. You could bring the legs overhead and maybe opt to clasp the hands like bridge pose so your legs are in plow pose, which is a forward fold. Make sure you're not moving the head side to side. Keep your neck safe and make sure not to flatten the back of your neck on the ground. Tilt the chin back. When you're ready to come out of plow or shoulder stand, have your hands on your lower back so you can very slowly lower your upper back, middle back, then pelvis last to the ground. Otherwise, if you have a block underneath, go ahead and remove it. Step your feet on the ground. And let's slide the legs forward as we enter fish pose, which is definitely a posture that opens up the area of the throat chakra. So for fish pose, slide your legs close together and bring the palms face down underneath your glutes so that the thumbs can touch. Press the ground away with your palms, forearms, and elbows as you tilt your chin back to open and stretch the throat. As far back as you can tilt the chin. Some of you might place the crown of the head on the floor. Whatever your range is, let's enter breath of fire for about 1 minute. If you're not pregnant, otherwise deep breaths in, slow breaths out. So breath of fire is a pulsation of the belly to the spine as you close the mouth and take short, quick, active exhalations like this. So go ahead and start, and we'll pause at a minute point. Take in a deep breath. Hold the breath in as long as you comfortably can and visualize lifting energy from the root of your spine all the way to your crown, passing the throat. Lift your pelvic floor, draw the navel in and up towards the heart. And when you can't hold the breath anymore, exhale through the mouth and release your body to the ground. Relax the arms and just pause. Notice how you feel. Notice what you feel. And then take your time if you need to rearrange your body so that you can comfortably lie down for a few minutes of rest in Shavasana. Our meditation is going to be a mantra meditation. So we're going to spend just a little longer in Shavasana here in silence. Let the silence be a practice of listening, deep listening within. Notice how your body is feeling as you rest here a little longer. With eyes closed, take your time beginning to move your body, listening to how it wants to wake up. Ease into simple stretches. And eventually turn over slowly onto your right side and pause there, resting your head. We make these incremental movements towards sitting and not sit up right away to honor the calm that we are continuing to cultivate within our nervous systems. Notice the quality of your breathing now. Sense your energy. And then begin to very slowly lift your body up, finding a comfortable way to sit tall and relaxed for our seated mantra meditation. We started chanting the seed sound or bija mantra of Vishuddha Chakra, which is hum. I'm going to invite you into a continuous chant, whether you decide to do it out loud or mentally and absorb the sounds that you hear, which I'm going to play out loud on Spotify here by Energy. So before we start, you might close your eyes, just find posture in the body that allows you to breathe and vocalize well, especially if you're going to sing out loud. And remember, this is about activating energy, but also balancing energy. So listen to the sound of your own voice and really creating a sound that is fluid, peaceful, resonant, as well as bold and expressive from within you, like you're singing from the heart, releasing anything that you need to release out into the world. You might visualize the color blue and send that sound to the center of your throat. Start by allowing a few cleansing exhales through the mouth and begin on your own when you feel ready. One hum after another for the next 5 minutes. Hum, hum, Can you put the energy into your singing, your chanting, as when you're communicating love? Hum, truth, clarity, sincerity. Hum. And at the same time, listen to the voice you're emitting, the sound you're sending out. Hum. 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 What would it feel like to hum as a means of purification, to purify? Hum. 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 Pausing the last and the tail end of our meditation and just listening. Notice anything you feel in the region of your throat, physically or more subtly in your felt sense. And how might you bring this awareness of how to balance your Vishuddha chakra into your week? Being very mindful of how you communicate, both expressing yourself and receiving or listening to communication. As we bring our practice to close, allow a moment to offer gratitude. Gratitude to this practice, gratitude to your showing up, our showing up. Gratitude to the life force energy that flows through you in all of us. Then revisit your intention. And remember to whom you dedicated your practice. Together, let's close with one Om, sending out the resonance we've co-created here and integrating that within us. Let in a deep breath. Bowing in towards your heart, acknowledging the light within. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.